And welcome back. It is now time for the Capitol Report with CapitolBeatOK's Pat McGuigan. Now, Pat, thank you for coming in today. Now, first off, one of the main conversation pieces is the Fifth Congressional race, the runoff here between Patrice Douglas and Steve Russell. Now, is Patrice Douglas about to fumble this way from Steve Russell? Because things are starting to heat up.
Yeah, they are. And, of course, the Democrats also have a primary, Al McCaffrey and Tom Guild. And I'm still handicapping that for Guild. But on the Republican side, it's kind of interesting. Russell ran first and the primary and came out of that with great momentum. I nonetheless still thought that Douglas would rally in the general, because the Oklahomans actually in statewide races have shown a history back in the 90s of actually liking the option of having a woman to vote for. And they're both well qualified, they're both conservative. Whoever the winner is, you'd have to handicap with the edge in November. But some interesting things have happened. Yeah. Douglas has been avoiding direct debates, and of course the voters who care enough to show up in a runoff like to see the two candidates joust.
And Russell is willing.
Well, not only is he willing, there was the incident that still sticks in my mind. I probably won't advertise for another station, but they sponsored and worked as hard as they possibly could to get the two of them together. And this is a program that has a couple of our best known analysts, you know, like myself, and she stiffed them. She did not show up. So for 30 minutes in a widely viewed show, Colonel Russell had these slow pitches to the outside, you know, and just it was like the home run derby. For 30 minutes, he was just knocking them over the fence. So they both have appealing personal stories. Colonel Russell's a legitimate hero from his service in the military. She's a wife, a mother, a businesswoman, and now a corporation commissioner. But I think she may be, fumbling is a good word.
Okay, and we're going to switch topics, state prison reform. Now, you've spoken a lot with a big advocate for that, Bobby Cleveland. How optimistic are you that we can actually do something about the high incarceration rate in the long term?
Yeah, I'm not as optimistic as I was when the Justice Reinvestment Initiative passed in 2012, because that framework is still there, it still exists and could be implemented. But it's been slow played by the Fallin administration, and it looks like Governor Fallin is getting refocused on the merits of that program. She did sign a law, to her credit, that we discussed several weeks ago, creating a revolving fund from which revenues can be drawn upon successful completion of alternatives to incarceration for women, the Women in Recovery program. She backed an 85% reform. Well, one of the problems in our criminal justice system is that convicted people are supposed to be eligible under many crimes for release after 85% of their sentence is served, but that actually winds up meaning 90 plus. The governor backed and Bobby Cleveland pushed a program to change that with great bipartisan support. Okay. So hopefully that'll get back on track. Just one more thing and we'll have to wrap up, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, and this one more thing is personal news. What is that?
I've left the watchdog.org organization.
Okay.
On cordial terms, I'm going to concentrate on state and local, because that's what floats my boat. I'm not as much into the national issues, although, as everyone that watches this know, I do comment on them from time to time. Okay. So I'm going to be concentrating on CapitolBeatOK and on the City Sentinel.
Okay.
And
hope
everybody, a little plug for that. And that's enough for now. We'll talk more later about it.
Okay, Pat, thank you very much. For more on these topics and several others, just go to CapitolBeatOK.com. For Pat McGuigan, I'm Justin Doherty. Have a great weekend.